More doctors and frontline workers continue to get the coronavirus vaccine. That includes our own anchor Sarah French's brother. He is a doctor in North Carolina who just received his COVID vaccine. Sarah caught up with him on Zoom. Here's their chat.
How was it when you got the email that said you were going to get the vaccine? Because you weren't sure when you were going to get it. You might have to wait a little bit longer, but now here it is kind of in the first week that they're being distributed.
Well, it's very exciting. I think it's something we were anticipating and something we've been looking forward to ever since the pandemic started. When we got the email, I think myself and sort of the other residents and physicians expected to be in that first group. We knew we were going to get kind of a limited number of vaccines because that's sort of a limited resource right now. So it was kind of in question who was going to get those time slots to get those vaccines. And luckily enough, myself and a lot of my colleagues have gotten some of those early time slots, and a lot of us have been able to get our vaccines already.
What would you say to someone who's nervous about getting this vaccine? Because it's so new, they aren't sure of the long-term side effects. What would you say to them?
It's always a great and smart thing to be cautious. It's always it's never wrong to question and say, is this the right thing to do? Is this safe? But I want to sort of reassure people out there that all the data and the information we have up to this point shows that this vaccine is just as safe as any other vaccine that we've had. And vaccines, for the most part, are very safe in general. Generally, within the scientific and the medical community, it's viewed as a very, very safe thing to get. A lot of high-profile people get this vaccine and show confidence in it, and the medical community has confidence in it, and I think the public should as well.
A lot of people want to know, is it like the flu? If you get this vaccine, can you potentially still get coronavirus or spread it?
No vaccine is perfect. The flu vaccine only works really kind of half of the time. So you can still get the flu vaccine, get the flu if you get the flu vaccine. And the coronavirus vaccine is no exception. You can still get coronavirus even after you get the vaccine. But as far as the efficacy or the effectiveness of the vaccine in preventing you from getting coronavirus, it's exceptionally high. It's higher than a lot of other vaccines that we have, and so it works really well. It's been shown that about 95% of people who get the vaccine, I'm really somewhat speaking about the Pfizer vaccine, will be protected against coronavirus, at least for a few months for the time period that they've studied so far. And so that basically just shows that around 5% of people who get the vaccine may still contract the virus. As far as, can you still get an asymptomatic infection? Can you still harbor coronavirus while you're vaccinated? That's still to be studied, and still to we really don't know the answer. Very may well, the vaccine may just prevent us from getting really sick, while at the same time we may still carry the disease and possibly pass that on to others around us. So it's still very important, at least in this time, to continue wearing masks, to continue practicing physical distancing until we know more about how effective the vaccine is at not only preventing us from getting serious symptoms, but also protecting us from being asymptomatic carriers and then from passing it on to others. The development of this vaccine is a great thing, and it's a very impressive thing that our society and our scientific community has been able to achieve. While there are still some questions remaining, wearing masks and physical distancing are important, but now I think the most important thing we can do, not only as a medical community, but also as a public in general, to combat this virus and to combat this pandemic in our country and globally, is to put some faith in these vaccines.
Say Merry Christmas, Uncle Will.
Merry Christmas, Blair and CJ.